Hello guys, and welcome to part 2 of making this stylized fan in Blender. So in part 1, we made this fan, we modeled everything, and we set it all up, the camera. And in this part, we're going to be setting up the lighting real quick, some of the render settings, and just adding some really basic shaders. So there's nothing complicated, and it's going to just be this kind of nice finished result here, which you can render out and just show to all your friends. So let's get into it. Okay, so what we're going to do first of all is we're going to go to our render settings. We're going to enable our ambient occlusion. Come to your screen space reflections, make sure to enable that. Now we are working with Eevee. You can work in cycles if you want, it'll work just as good. It'll just take a little bit longer to render. So what we're gonna do now is we're also gonna go Shift A, and let's go to our light settings. We're gonna add in an area light. With this area light still active, go G, Z, bring it up in the scene. Go to your light settings, and what we're gonna do is when we come to the power here, we're gonna set the value to 350. Now, depending on the scale that you're working with here, obviously you might want to bump this up if you feel your lights are too weak. I'm just assuming you guys kind of follow the same scale here, because the scale of the scene does matter when it comes to the lighting. So just that's what you have to do with the power. Just bump it up if you need to. I'm going to go with this value here. So I'm going to go to the size here. I'm going to make it 5 meters, just like that. So now we have our first light. We're going to go to our right orthographic view and go Shift D, move this guy forward, and just rotate it in almost at about 45, just like that. Then go to your top orthographic view by hitting 7, and then hit Shift D again. Bring one over to the side and rotate it in towards the subject here. And then Shift D, bring another one over here, and then rotate it in towards the subject. And you can rotate these a little bit up more than the others, and move them around. So just something like this, these 4 lights I found work. I might just move this guy up a bit more. So like that, all it is, hit the 0 to go into your camera view, hit Z, and then go rendered. So we should now see our nice lighting setup here. In fact, I'm gonna grab this light over here, just go Shift D, move one at the back here, and just rotate it in like that. Just so we got some lighting coming from the back there as well. Just, trying things out. And you guys can mess around with it as much as you want. I really am pretty basic when it comes to my lighting, unless I'm really trying to polish something, but something like this was perfectly fine. It looks nothing wrong with that. So what we're going to do now is select the fan casing here, and we're going to go to our shading workspace. It's just more convenient. Hit 0 to go into camera view once again, hit Z, and make sure you're in rendered mode here. Now with all things ready, we have our first object selected, which is the case, and you can remember in part 1 we created the placeholder materials. They were simply placeholder materials. So with the case material here, with the principled shader, I'm going to come here, and obviously you can make the color whatever you want because it's your item that you're making. So I'm going to go with something like this. Color is totally up to you. I'm going to bring the roughness down a little bit, not all the way. And I'm going to take my clear coat and bump that up a bit. Just a material like a shader like this, I really like the look of it. And with that done, we're going to select the chrome parts here. Select any of the chrome parts. So just these little guys at the side here should be fine. Anything that's got a chrome material. And then we come in here to the principled shader, drag up the metallic value obviously, and then bring down that roughness a bit. Now definitely don't bring it all the way to 0. Just something like 0.2 or 0.25 should be okay. And then what we're going to do is select the fan in the inside here, and we're going to do something similar with the fan material. So I just saw I made a typo there, so I'm just going to call it fan blades. And we're going to come here to the metallic slider, drag that up to 1 as well, bring the roughness in a bit, and I'm just going to come here and make the color something like this. Something that kind of complements the color scheme I'm going with here. Like I said, this is completely up to you what you want to do. This is what I'm doing. I like it. Let's select the little rubber parts down here at the bottom, and just make that simply a black kind of color, and bring down the roughness. Really not much to that at all. So now we have pretty much all of our fan materials done here. We can just simply select our floor. We also created a default placeholder material for our floor. So let's just come here and edit that. So I'm going to kind of try some different colors here. I feel like green would go with this kind of setup I've got here. So I'm going to go with kind of like a lime green that's a little bit yellowish. You can play around with the value slider here. I think even the black looks kind of cool. But yeah, I'm just going to go with that. So not too bright of a value. So there, that's where my my lighting is at, and that's my floor. And in fact, I'm going to try bringing down the roughness on this floor a little bit, see if I get some of the reflections in there from the fan. Something like that. Maybe if I made it darker, that might actually work quite well. Yeah, that looks pretty cool, but I'm going to go with what I originally thought, which is the green like this. Maybe bring the roughness up a little bit more. So this is really looking cool, but the only way to find out is just go give it a render image, and let's see what that looks like. Awesome, here we have the final render. So there we have a fan that we've modeled in Blender 2.83. We've used Eevee, and it's been super simple to make. I hope it has been simple. Like if I explain things a little bit too fast, just slow it down a little bit, go back and just see what I'm explaining, and feel free to ask in the comment section. Sometimes I can't see all the messages, so I am sorry if I don't reply. But like I mentioned in part 1, I do make these available on my Patreon. So this file will be available on Patreon if you guys want to check it out, see how I set it up, and you can use this if you want to use it as well. So I'll see you guys next time for another tutorial. I hope you guys stay safe, and by the way, show me what you make on Instagram. I do check out what you guys send me on Instagram. I don't always reply because I get a lot of stuff on Instagram, but I do check out the things you guys make, and I'm really proud of some of the progress I'm seeing from some of my subscribers. You guys really are doing a lot of awesome stuff. I'll see you guys next time.